But, you have all these bankers, JP Morgan. Now I understand why they never say anything. At least these guys are smart enough to keep their mouths shut. You saw why when Jeff Curry.
Yeah. You remember when you and I did the interview? I'm like, dude, where's this lawyer? Tell him to shut up. He's making it very hard for them.
Keep him coming, man. The guy's made me a fortune this year. Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics. Hope you all had a great day watching the silver market. Nice to see the prices of metals up again. And fortunately, had quite an interesting day. I did have some, ironically, I think it actually was synchronistically, I did have some interaction with the CFTC today, which I will be reporting back on shortly. Although for tonight's show, recorded a fun call with Jean-Claude of Beyond Mystic the other day that, I don't know, I felt it was just certain things that have been sensing and feeling and have been becoming more clear. Really came out in that one. So I think that you will enjoy what you're about to see. And I might add that especially in today's culture where perhaps some of our politicians are not the greatest role models, I'm going to pull up Jean-Claude's Beyond Mystic page. He actually got censored by YouTube, got his channel shut down for sharing freedom and truth. But look at that. He's already built it back up to 30,000 subscribers, has really been sharing some great content. So by all means, hit that subscribe button to stay posted on his channel. Some fun stuff there. And a quick note, I'd like to remind you that next Tuesday, April 20th, I will be in Washington, D.C., right outside of the Fed's headquarters, or not the Fed's headquarters, although I'm planning to stop there too. Tuesday, the 20th, visiting the CFTC, a very peaceful rally, but you can make signs, CFTC jokes, everything else. And I will be there. Looking forward to meeting whoever is in the area or wants to travel to see the CFTC. I think I'll be getting there Sunday. Hopefully we'll be able to stop by the Fed, the White House, a couple other great landmarks. But anyway, that will be Tuesday, April 20th in Washington. We'll get signs and do a little peaceful protest outside of the CFTC. And perhaps we can also get our favorite CFTC commissioners. Maybe we could get them to donate to this campaign urging the CFTC to finally do its job. I set up a campaign here where basically they answer a lot of the questions that people are emailing me and asking me all the time that I really wish I got from the CFTC. Well, laid out all here. And here's some of the questions. And I'd really like to thank you. We've already raised almost $5,000 in less than 24 hours. And really just starting to spread the word out. But it looks like we will have a lot of media is getting interested in the festivities next Tuesday. And whether you'd like to contribute to the campaign, if it resonates with you, or perhaps just share the message and let others know about what we're doing. But any of the questions that certainly that I've talked about, that a lot of people have expressed that they feel the CFTC would be well served to answer, money is being pledged. If the CFTC just answers those questions that you want to know, the money goes to a very worthy charitable cause. If not, the money will be used to create a suit against the CFTC. So either way, it's going to be all good. And with that said, now let's dig into what is really going on right now inside of the silver market.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude of Beyond Mystic, and welcome to this episode entitled Silver Default at the Perth Mint. My guest today, of course, is the author of the Big Silver Short. You can find his work at arcadiaeconomics.com, and you can also find him on his YouTube channel, Arcadia Economics. Let's give him a big warm welcome. Chris, welcome back to the show, man.
Hello, Jean-Claude. It is a pleasure to be here with you as always. And sure, I've appreciated a lot of the shows you've been doing recently. Very helpful for me, and I would imagine for a lot of others. So thank you for all that you've been doing and getting some good information out there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But really, I'm not holding a candle to what you're doing, man. You're on fire. Holy shit. I can't even keep up with all your videos. You're doing a great
Well,
job, and I really like the fact that you're actually getting on the phone and trying to talk to these people and getting them to contradict themselves. We'll get into that in a moment here. So folks, thank you so much for joining us here on this live interactive show. We will be taking your questions and comments as we go here during the show. But first, I want to ask Chris maybe to lay down some track here and explain.
Wait, Jean-Claude.
What's that, Chris?
I know I'm interrupting and it's your show, but can I please ask the first question? I think everybody really wants to know, rather than beating around the bush for the next hour or so, when is the Jeff Curry, Dick Hayes roundtable on Beyond Mystic? I've been waiting and I haven't gotten that email notification yet.
Yeah, I sent an email out and there people said, well, don't call us, we'll call you. So I'm still waiting on that one.
Yeah, that's what happened when I called JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs too.
Yeah, and how about that fellow you called to at the president? Did he agree to come on your show as well?
Yeah, Dick, I don't think Dick wants to come to my birthday party. Although, Jean-Claude, I'd be happy to announce, if May, it is now officially a thing next Tuesday, April 20th. It is the very peaceful CFTC Expose the Fraud and Corruption rally. We're going to go make signs. Who knows? Maybe Chairman Benham will actually be there and he'll comment on what sure appears to be a fraudulent attempt at pretending to regulate the silver market. But anyway, maybe we'll get a live stream from the party next week. Well, I would invite you, but I hear you're not going anywhere.
Dude, the lockdowns are getting worse here. The Premier of Ontario today was saying that they're looking at a curfew. We've never had that before. Quebec, the adjacent province, has had that for a couple of months here. But now we're going that way as well. They just announced today closure of all the schools across the province too. So, and of course now the federal government here too is talking about introducing intra-provincial checkpoints as well. So it's really getting crazy out there. I don't know where I just lost Chris there for a second, so hold on. Oh, there you are. Okay. So Chris, this event you're doing, do you have a link or do you have a meetup page or something we could produce here for the audience? Is that on your website? I don't see it offhand here.
Not yet. Possibly by the time we're done, it will be up, but
okay.
I would say anybody wants more information immediately, you can email the Big Silver Short at arcadiaeconomics.com. And then when we have said link, we will get it to you. But even despite my recent trip to Las Vegas and the horrors of the TSA, I mean, the social engineering that's going on now is, I mean, it's I don't know what is the word to describe it, but I mean, by the time I got back, I was like, I don't want to fly anywhere for the rest of my life, but to have CFTC Day, you got to make some exceptions to the rules. So we'll be down there next Tuesday.
Okay. And talking about social engineering, let me see if I can bring this link back up for you guys here. But this was a Zero Hedge article. Oh, did it come up? What's going on here? Oops. Where'd it go? There you go. There was a research made, and YouTube apparently had deleted 2.5 million dislikes from the Mr. B fake pretendency here at the White House on his YouTube channel. So could you just imagine? And even still, with all of these deletions, the thumb down to thumb up ratio is completely out of whack still. So anyways, just crazy times we're living in. Chris, let's take a moment here for the audience who may not have followed this story very carefully. I want you to take maybe the next 3 or 4 minutes here to explain to the people how we jumped from, in our last shows, you and I talked about the Reddit folks, how they got into silver and all that. But the
keyboard thumpers.
Right, the keyboard thumpers. We'll get into that interview as well. I've got it queued up here. But this article here on Zero Hedge is when we started seeing the real cracks maybe in the mainstream media. I know that you and Craig Hemke had already talked about it, written about it before. But here, when unallocated becomes unavailable was really the first maybe start here to this saga. So let's bring it to today. What have you been following on this story? How did it start at the Perth Mint, and what are you seeing now as it starts to ripple through all the other institutions here around the planet?
Well, I mean, I know I have some wild ideas like supply and demand and all that old fashioned shit that Wall Street isn't into anymore. So Jean-Claude, I'll be fair. I'll acknowledge it's possible I'm a complete moron and I'm so inside my own fishbowl that I just can't see it. I acknowledge that possibility. So leave it to any individual viewer to assign what probability to that outcome you might want. Outside of that is either that or Dick Hayes is lying. And, I got really into the power of positive thinking. I also know negative energy and then, the cost. So I don't say these things lightly, but the guy goes on a bunch of interviews and says, hey, there's plenty of silver. There's, all these conspiracy whack jobs. But I might add are his customers. So that was okay. I try to not do like things too analytical as I used to. It's a misguided youth. Now I try and like just feel things out a little bit because I'm fortunate there are channels like yours where rather than being a corporate robot, you can learn about what could really be possible in life. Oh, if you're going to play highlights, that'd be awesome, by the way. So right off the bat, it's like, actually, it's interesting because the Perth Mint, I don't know their exact business model, but I think they have a refinery. So you know how like people always give Andy Schectman and Miles Franklin shit because they're saying like, oh, he's talking his own book when the premiums are high. Now, any bullion dealer that I've had on my show, unless they're lying to me, I mean, most of them have been paying higher prices to get the metal. So I understand people are frustrated. They think the dealers are scalping, but that's a supply and demand thing. I mean, I probably shouldn't say this, but when we started bringing orders for Andy, my partner handles that. Basically, we'd make sure that we priced it better than what was on the screen. So that's like, how businesses compete in any industry. There's pricing. If one guy sells it for $10,000 and the other guy sells the same product for $5,000, people go for the best offer. So there's supply and demand there. Yet now I'm not sure the Perth Mint, but since they're have a bigger chain of production, I believe they actually might even be making bigger spreads than any of the other dealers. So what confuses me is why is Dick so upset about that? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like most people, they go to college, they go to a job or start a business and they pray one day to make a lot of money. And here it's like, could there be better conditions on the planet for the Perth Mint than what's happening now? And this guy's like, oh, these idiots that, and their conspiracy theories and is like, well, it's just they're buying a lot of silver, but that, the silver market is so liquid. So here's what I don't get, Jean-Claude. Maybe you can explain it to me because I'm a conspiracy theorist. And I also, I think we have a opt-in link. I did take my flying saucer to this interview. So by all means, this is highly comical material, not in any way serious financial advice, but like, what is he so upset about? People are trying to pay money, and on top of it, I don't understand. Like, if everybody's buying silver, and then I hear like, well, that doesn't affect the price because the paper market is liquid. Doesn't that like confirm that the paper market's a fraud? Mm-hmm. And fine, if that's the case, then when his customers call and buy silver, if this man thinks it's the stupidest thing ever, and anybody who would even consider buying it is a complete Fruit Loop, why is he selling shit to his customers while he's insulting them and pissing in their face?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question, and I don't think we have an answer for that. And that's
actually, we do.
Okay.
Because I called the Perth Mint.
Oh, okay. Let's get into that.
I understand if someone's hearing this for the first time, maybe they think I'm a smart ass or being a punk. I don't go around doing this stuff. I just like wake up and do it one day, and I have better things to do. But when I hear this man saying the stuff that he says, and then I'm seeing on Twitter, there's Dick Hayes saying plenty of silver. But then, people are sending me pictures on Twitter. There's 1 kilo bars. There's a limit of 10 per person. Let's just say this is the tip of the iceberg. I didn't even have time to make my full, and I have a bunch of clips downloaded on my computer of Dick Hayes talking, and things I don't think he would want to have to defend under oath in a court that actually adheres to the rule of law.
Right. That's a whole other point.
And, I go back and forth through this debate in my mind, like, all right, I want to stay positive. The goal isn't to be like, picking fights all the time, but then there's, so far I haven't released that, which people can believe what they want. But I say that as a sign that I'm not just trying to like assassinate people's character or anything like that yet. Okay. I run a silver show. I call myself a silver analyst. So if I heard this stuff and did nothing about it and told people, yeah, go buy the unallocated pool at the Perth Mint, I would hope that would make me liable for fraud. In the same way that when the CFTC lies about maintaining their oath, I think that makes them accountable for fraud, but I'm not going to do it in secret. I'm not going to take any payoff. I'm going to go outside their office, and other people who want to express that view and within the framework of the law will be able to do so. But, you have all these bankers, JP Morgan. Now I understand why they never say anything. At least these guys are smart enough to keep their mouths shut. You saw why when Jeff Curry.
Yeah. You remember when you and I did the interview? I'm like, dude, where's his lawyer? Tell him to shut up. He's making it very hard for them.
Keep him coming, man. The guy's made me a fortune this year. I can't tell you how many sponsors we got after I started making Jeff Curry videos exposing this fool. And by the way, I might add, I have a contact at CNBC. I sent her a message this morning saying, are you aware that Jeff Curry of Goldman Sachs has been committing a series of felonies every time he opens his mouth on your channel? I don't think she was aware of that. She's like, oh really? What? So I'll send her a video. Fortunately, I made some videos for anyone who's interested. But I mean, when these guys, they don't answer, and similar, I'm getting these messages of, I see John Adams. I talked to John Adams. I mean, I've known John for over a year, and I don't think this guy's making it up, but hey, I don't want to like call someone a liar and say, hey, because John said so. So finally, there's one night I'm out walking Nibbles and it's 11 o'clock. I'm like, oh, these guys are probably open right now. So I call up, get the representative. Although first I wait on hold, and the hold message is like, we will get to your call as soon as you can because of the increased demand. I thought it was ironic. Finally, this woman gets on the phone and I start asking, I'm like, I do silver stuff. I have some customers and, I was just trying to get an understanding of what amount of silver is available. We got plenty. Everything's good to go. And so then, wrapping up, I'm like, well, one thing I was confused. Why is there a limit on the 1 kilo bars? Mm-hmm. She says, so that everybody can get some. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I heard the interview with Dick Hayes. He said there was plenty of silver, so why do you need a limit? She said, so everybody can get some. I was like, okay, I heard that the first time. Thank you. But
I'll have to circle back.
See what I'm getting at here? Like,
right.
Because, again, it's like most businesses I know, especially financial. I mean, Wall Street, these guys will run their own grandmother over for a couple of bucks.
Right.
Here, if you have, Jean-Claude, if you have unlimited silver, premiums are high, why would you be limiting them?
Yeah. I'd be happy to make my profit.
So I asked her that same question, and she said, so everybody can get some. I'm like, okay. I think I'm clear on that part now. So I said, is this a normal policy? And she's like, well, we added it. It added a little while ago. I'm like, about how long ago? Like a couple months ago, like last year? She says, no, a week and a half ago. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh. So right at the exact same time, your boss was lying his ass off. And that's, I would say, is a market felony. That's an influential institution. I mean, I'm pretty damn careful about the things I say. I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel.
Right.
This guy is government backed. He's backed by the government mafia of Austria, their crime family. And he can't get things right. And so while he's saying that, well, he's going on the air lying. They're changing their policy, putting a limit on it. Yeah. And then when I asked, is that not in direct contradiction with what your boss says? She says, well, everyone needs to get some. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm clear on that. And then I said,
you have to have an interview and to have him come on your show. What was her response to that?
Well, I said, frankly, that's pretty hard to believe what you're telling me to be true. Mm-hmm. I have a show. We get a couple tens of thousands of people watch per day. They have the same questions. These are customers. Frankly, it sounds like the guy's lying. But I'm an honest journalist. I don't have any intention. I learned from the trading floor. You get things right, you make money. Get things right for other people, and they love you. And I feel blessed the reaction I've gotten because I put my name and face to my best honest research. I don't claim that I know everything, but unlike Dick Hayes, I don't lie to people. And so I said, you know what? So I'm giving you the chance. Does this guy want to answer these questions? Because frankly, it seems like he's lying. She says, well, I'll pass along the message. I'm like I just said that to you, and you can pass along the message. I said that I mentioned John Adams. I said, there's a lot of people who are flat out accusing this guy of fraud. I don't know. I'm trying to get answers. You're not giving them to me. I said, do you want to put me on hold and contact him? Let me know. I'll sit here and wait. She says, oh, but I don't have his phone number. Oh, okay. All of a sudden, then it's like, nobody's got the phone number. I think she even used the COVID-ator homework excuse at one point, which is a personal favorite of mine. And then I said, so basically, I'm like, would he like to do an interview? She said, no, he already did his interview. He won't be commenting further. So the old lie and hide. So he lied. Now he got caught. And now he doesn't have anything to say. Right. Jean-Claude, I know you saw that stupid tweet they sent out with after John Adams accused him of fraud, 8 Ways to Sunday. And then instead of answering any of his questions, which I offered to host on my show, said, hey, frankly, because Perth Mint's tweeting this stuff out, it sounds pretty silly. And then they say, well, we're going to send this journalist who has 72 followers or no one's ever heard of. I think someone showed maybe they even owned the damn thing. I'm not sure about that. I remember seeing something wacky like that. But they're going to send this guy to take a picture of a pile of metal. Right. Which had dates about a decade old, I heard, and doesn't really address any of the lease issues, doesn't address the assertions John raised, doesn't address any of the questions that people, their own customers, they send to me. Hey, Dick, your customers are sending me questions saying they think you're lying, but you don't have anything to say. Crickets. So he doesn't want to do any more interviews now. And I said, and she kept telling me, she's like, well, if you want to follow up, you can email, I think it was like orders@Perth Mint. Right. And I mentioned, I'm like, I just told you all this. I said, me as well as a lot of other people think your guy's lying flat out. A lot of people accusing, getting messages from your customers. You tell me to send you an email. And I said, I'm out walking my dog right now. Maybe I'll remember it later. Maybe I won't. I'm saying I'll sit here on hold. If this is important to you, if this seems in any way relevant, that the man you're working for sure seems like a liar, do you want to put it on hold? I'll wait. This is like, well, I'll pass along the message. I said, okay. Do you know what my name is? No. So even if she did pass along the message, which it didn't seem like she had a lot of interest in doing. Right. Like you could say, okay, some dude thinks you're a liar. Okay. And then finally, before she was like, well, what is it that you want from me? I said, I don't need anything from you. I've got everything I need. Right. Your response was clear. I told her this. I said, the way you're responding gives a very clear message. Because I'll tell you what, if there was someone who accused me of that to one of my staff and someone was saying this stuff and that person didn't tell me, it wouldn't be working for me. Right. Because I don't do fraudulent stuff like that. And if somebody accuses me, I don't roll with that. Right. Maybe someone can run their mouth, but you're not gonna. I'm not cool with it. Right. Or at least if someone says, "Hey, they're accusing you of this. Do you defend yourself?" Yeah, I will. That's basically the same routine I got from the CME about. Remember our boy Jean-Claude? Do you remember why Jeff Curry said it's impossible to have a short squeeze in the silver market? Remember the specific answer he gave to that part? He said the ETFs were the shorts. Well, he said that too, but when they asked about why there can't be a short squeeze, he said, well, because you have the position limits now. Oh, yeah, right. Which are always over. Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan blew through the position limits this last gold delivery period. They do it almost monthly. Right. And I'm like, am I like looking at the wrong column here? So silly me, I actually called these agencies, called the CME. And I'm like, hey, we had first.
Hold on a second, Chris. Hold on a second here. I just want to bring up your video here with John Adams. I'm going to bring the link down for the audience to go check that out. You went through quite a bit of this data with him, and he brought some new points to that as well. So before we go to the CME, let me ask you what your take is now on what's happening at Kitco, what's happening in the UK. John's been at this. You've been on this. There's a couple of tweets out here. Is the Perth Mint indicative of what's happening now around the planet? Are we seeing that same shell game of these institutions taking from the allocated accounts in the back, segregated allocated accounts from the back to supply the demand and the front corner, hoping that possibly in the next couple of weeks or months they can resupply that without anybody knowing? Are we seeing this trend now, and is this about to blow up in big time? What are your thoughts?
It sure doesn't look good. I've had a fellow, actually was a guy that John Adams was posting about, who was saying his experience with Kitco. And again, I said, John, can I talk to the guy? He passed along his information, talked to him for about a half hour last week. And I mean, he was telling me the similar story to what I got from another guy from Australia who was contacting ABC Bullion. And they're all saying variants of the same thing. I don't think these people are lying. I did call Kitco. They gave me the everything's good to go, nothing to see here. Their customers say otherwise. I don't know why they're contacting me. I don't know why their customers, Kitco, why are your customers are contacting me, telling me detailed stories otherwise. And I think this fella, he wanted to wait a little bit till he had his metals safely returned. But I said, hey, if you want me to get on the phone, I'd love to hear how they respond to it. Because actually, like what he said, any person I've talked to has I've had no customer dispute what John Adams is saying. I've had people confirm it. Perth Mint made it damn clear when I called them. So I had another person I did a consultation with about 2 months ago, so I knew him. And then actually, hold on a second. I got a couple of these emails in here. May I read? I'll leave the name out.
Sure, if you want. Yeah, be careful with people's personal data. While you look for those, folks, please do go and subscribe here. For some reason, I'm unsubscribed. What the hell happened there? No, wait, unsubscribed. No, I am subscribed. Okay, there we go. You go subscribe to Arcadia Economics on YouTube here and follow his work. Let me bring the link back down. And of course, you can find him also at arcadiaeconomics.com. And so let me bring that up as well. And finally, of course, the paperback book is available and is for sale. You can find it on Amazon. I think this is my Canadian version, but do go check that out. It was very prolific. And I remember my first interview with Chris here last year on my previous channel before we got deleted. And I remember telling Chris, man, you are very prescient because everything that's in this book is leading to something very big and it's about to blow up. So I'm really excited for you, Chris. Your timing is impeccable. And I'm hoping that we're finally there. And I know
impeccable. What about the last 10 years? It was so good.
Well, from the book's perspective, it's impeccable. I think we're at this point now. And of course, you've had interviews with David Morgan as well. He had coined the term the Silver Crisis in his book, The Silver Manifesto. And it very much appears that we're here now. Whether or not now the mainstream media and the government officials want to admit it or not is a whole other question here. So do you have the emails up ready to share now? Do you want to do a share screen, or you just want to read them like that so
I'll read one of them. I guess I didn't have a whole bunch of them organized, but here's one where someone sends an email to Perth Mint. They signed up for an account. Are there currently limits on what I can purchase? He asked about 10 ounce, 100 ounce, and 1,000 ounce silver bars. They write back, we only sell 10 ounce, 1 kilogram, and 100 ounce for delivery. All 6s are out of stock at the moment. You're looking at roughly 2 weeks before they come back in, but this can change.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you want, I'll dig up and send you an email. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff like this. I'm following up, talking with people, and it's across the board. So,
right.
I'm going to be careful about not accusing. I mean, I can say what happened with Perth Mint because I called them directly in that specific firsthand information. So I'm trying to be carefully, I have
No, I
no
appreciate
interest in giving. I'm not trying to slander anyone. There's no interest in that.
No. We just want to
So,
get to the truth here. And John was doing the same thing on my show. He was sharing all of these anecdotal reports that people were sending him of the fact that suddenly they couldn't get their hands on their allocated accounts, and or that there was rationing involved. So when he spoke to Andy Scheckman on my show, Andy did validate a lot of the things that John was saying. So that was very interesting to see the validation there from a bullion dealer, also hearing the same stories and getting a whiff here that, again, something's not right behind the counter here. So where does this all leave us, Chris? Again, let me bring up the Kitco chart here. We just had it up 2 seconds ago, just lost it. But while I do that, okay, there you go. Where does this end? Are we heading towards them being able to kick the can down the road one more time, or are we at the point now where this is breaking? Is there any timeline or any dates on your radar right now that will give you and other researchers like you an indication that we're finally here at this crisis moment?
I mean, there are a couple of dates that are on my timeline or things I look towards. Maybe I'll call them indications. I don't know that I like to hope will factor in one day intelligently to some option trading here or there. Certainly pretty darn impressive to me what Cliff has pointed out the last couple of times, although that's been in relation to certainly significant events and other things like what's happening at the Fed. So, I mean, and I get it, people who also get heated like, oh, this guy said silver is going to go up, whether it's Cliff or me or you or anyone else, and it hasn't happened. Similarly, but that's the nature of it. It was similar with the housing bubble. I get it. People want answers. They want to know. And I'd love to know when too. God has his say in some of these things. I mean, if you told me, I heard some of your guests, interesting Penny Kelly's words. The woman seemed pretty darn confident about it too. Hey, does it happen in April? I don't know. Certainly, if it happened, if you told me by the time we finished this call, the COMEX, unraveled and silver is $200 an ounce, I've thought that's been possible at any point for the last 10 years.
Right.
And now when you're just stuffing the beach ball underwater with more leverage, more printed dollars, more paper silver. So
well, let me add this to the mix here in the conversation. If you're looking at it from a technical analysis perspective, what Craig was saying, he was
Terry Benedict.
Yeah, Mr. Benedict, Terry Benedict. Yeah, he's hilarious, man. I love our shows. He was looking at $26 closing above 26 and then above 30. This was indications on his map here that we were heading into some choppy waters. Now, what's interesting, and my question to that was, well, how do we do TNA when all of this is manipulation? Does TNA actually work at this point when all we have to do is send CEOs to lie on mainstream media? So I'm not sure about technical analysis at this point. But what Gerald Celente is famous for saying is that when all else fails, they bring you to war. And of course, now we're seeing this heat up here, both in Ukraine.
That box is checked off.
Yeah.
I apologize. Those boxes are checked off.
Right. So again, it makes me think, as I was asking you, and I want you to bring your own spin to this as you're looking at all these events. Are these all cover stories here too for a big switch over, bait and switch type of scenario where they don't have to deal with these real silver problems here? So what are your thoughts on that?
I think you've seen the cover up of the crime scene for the last almost 3 months now. I will maintain, maybe I'll be proven wrong one day, but I broke on February 2nd See, there's a reason no one ever heard of Jeff Curry before, or maybe they heard of him, or that no one in the silver world, I didn't know of him. And because it was, it's interesting. It wasn't until I noticed I made the first video about him February 13th, and that CNBC call was February 4th. He had done the Bloomberg one February 2nd, which I didn't find out about until later.
Right.
So that means like 8 days passed, and I don't know. It's just because like people send me a lot of stuff. I have weird hobbies. I YouTube and Google a lot of things like that, and I think I was even like typing away on something else and just had it playing in the background. And there was like at one point where it was like, what the fuck did that guy just say?
Right.
But here's the thing. It's like, if I hadn't happened to have noticed that, probably nobody would have. But it's like once because like who sees these things but like once anybody stops and like, it's designed. This is my experience from Wall Street where a lot of these things are designed so that if you're not really looking carefully, it sounds plausible and you just gloss over it. I don't know. It's probably only because I sat here and done this for the last 20 years because I'm hearing there was just something where I'm like, whoa. And then, I stop. And then once you point it out, then Bix made videos. Everyone was having a field day. I mean, because the stuff he said was so incredibly silly. And then I'm thinking, geez, how long has this guy been saying this about silver? And while you can find Jeff and his body doubles going a little farther back,
just for the fun of it, for the audience here, I have new members coming in every day. They might not be aware of how long you've been at this and who these characters are. Of course, on the screen now is the lovely Blythe Masters. Let's just hear what she had to say. And this is what year was this? 2012. So let me bring that up for the audience here, just for the fun of it, and then we'll put that in context with the Currys of the world and the Hayes of the world. So let me bring that up. All right.
Great question, and you're right. There's been a tremendous amount of speculation, particularly in the blogosphere, about this topic. And I think the challenge is that speculation represents a misunderstanding as to the nature of our business. As I mentioned earlier, our business is a client-driven business where we execute on behalf of clients to achieve their financial and risk management objectives. The challenge is that commentators don't see all of that activity simultaneously. Mm-hmm. So just to give you a simple example, we store significant amounts of commodities, for example, silver, on behalf of customers. We operate vaults in New York City, in Singapore, and in London. And often when customers have that metal stored in our facilities, they hedge it on a forward basis through JP Morgan, who in turn hedges itself in the commodity markets. If you see only the hedges and our activity in the futures market, but you aren't aware of the underlying client position that we're hedging, then it would suggest inaccurately that we're running a large directional position. Yes. In fact, that's not the case at all. We have offsetting positions. We have no stake in whether prices rise or decline. Rather, we're running a flat or a relatively natural.
So it's not because what is commonly out there is that JP Morgan is manipulating the metals market. And from what you're outlining, that is not possible because of the different sides of the business that you're a part of.
That's right. It's not part of our business model. It would be wrong, and we don't do it.
Hey, Jean-Claude, rewind the last 5 seconds. David Jensen, who has also pointed out a lot of the fraudulent statements Blythe made there, and government is okay with because they, in my opinion, are part of the crime and condone it. Right. Look at her body language while she's saying, she's like shaking her head while she says yes. And that might be something. I know you have a lot of guests that are in tune with that. Play right. The last 5 seconds again, could you?
Yeah, because if you look at the body language, her body's betraying what she's saying. And there's a few people who've done some body decode on this, but let me bring that back up here.
What you're outlining, that is not possible because of the different sides of the business that you're a part of.
That's right. It's not part of our business model. It would be wrong, and we don't do it.
You've had such a long...
It's like, we don't do it.
Jean-Claude, do you think that maybe maybe she was caught off guard because actually that's in 2012, which would include the time period of which the CFTC and the Department of Justice finally noticed in 2020 where they said not like a couple of times, but hundreds of thousands of times that JP Morgan spoofed and screwed their customers. So it was actually during that exact time where Blythe is lying on camera. Dude, maybe we should get her together with Jeff Curry. That'd be quite a couple. It'd be like the gatekeeper and the keymaster. And that could be why she was a little confused there. I find that lying bankers have a hard time keeping all the facts together. So it's like the subconscious is thrown off in all sorts of different directions. And actually, one last thought about that while she's saying the client desk, this and that. I actually made the mistake of going to Wharton's useless business school in my misguided 20s. I was young. I needed the money.
When she says she wasn't running directional positions, is that what you mean?
Yeah, everybody who went to the sales and trading meetings and the interviews, like we all went there because we knew like we would get to trade and take positions. Right. Like we giggled, we're like, because every once in a while someone would mention, yeah, it's for the client or whatever. So I'm like, oh, they don't really mean that. It's just the shit they say to the assholes they're stealing from.
Right.
So that was well known. And I guess it's funny the way life works out.
And of course, she says, no, we don't do that. But yet they just paid JP Morgan $920 million from.
And look, scroll down where it says the time period in which those frauds committed or were occurred.
Exactly when she
2008 to 2016. So that means Blythe was lying.
Yeah. And the traders said that this was pervasive and that they had learned how to do that from their higher ups, which presumably would have included at the time Miss Masters here.
Jean-Claude, are you going to JP Morgan Goldman? I hear they have like some earnings call or something tomorrow. Maybe they'll comment about silver.
Right. So what's the deal with them having a sign on the window to buy silver? I just saw something. Did you post that earlier today?
What's that?
There was a sign at the JP Morgan head office to buy silver.
Somebody had written in chalk that they've been rigging silver, and they wondered how come Jamie Dimon never comments on it. It was really unusual. I don't know how it could have gotten there. There's a lot of power outages here in Texas, so a lot of unusual things happening in Austin that I really couldn't claim to explain. I don't know where that could have come from.
No clue whatsoever. Okay, folks, I brought the link down. If you guys want to go have a good laugh, go check out that video there. I loved it. It's kind of like the guy who was holding the sign "Buy Bitcoin" when Janet Yellen was talking about there's no inflation anywhere. Remember that? That was hilarious. All right. Well, hey, Chris, I got 10 minutes. I have a hard out today. I have to get back to town to get some more mulch for my gardening here. And my mom's waiting for me. So let's do this. I know we started a little bit late here today, but what's coming up with you on the we're getting a little bit of an echo, Chris. What's coming up with you on your channel here in the next couple of days and weeks that you want to bring the attention to the audience and perhaps to the people who don't know you yet? Just let them know what they can find here, and then we'll talk about your book and your website as well. And we'll do that silver draw if you want to. We have a few minutes. We can do that also.
Yeah. Well, what I would say you could find on the channel, if you we're told free markets, America, land of opportunity, honesty, integrity. And then you feel like the people who told you that were the ones stealing the most, and you're a little bit sick of that, and you wonder why nobody ever does anything about it. Well, then come on over to Arcadia Economics, because, at least in this lifetime, that's what I'm going to do. And I've never had more fun. It's fun making Jeff Curry videos. And as you can see on my title there, we're going to Washington. Silver Chris is going to Washington. I'm very blessed to have some mining companies that support the research I do. And certainly I appreciate that, especially with what they've had to go through with these felony banks. Illegally rigging the price for decades, lying about it. Now you have the CFTC that has a mission statement to uphold and protect the investors that they disregard and leave victim, and then have the audacity to threaten a bunch of kids on Reddit. Jean-Claude, we're going to, at this March, you mentioned signs. I'm going to get one of those signs like you have the straps and there's one in the front, one in the back saying CFTC, while you were harassing the kids on Reddit, did you look at the evidence I submitted February 12th and whichever date was the second round where I detailed to the letter the crime that occurred, which actually it's kind of fun because then I will launch a suit against the CFTC. I have a good financial claim because the second time a big option position on, I will say on February 2nd, I was up on a small, I took one account that had $27,000 into it. Into the high point on February 1st was 195,000. And then it didn't go so well on February 2nd when there was a shortage of silver and the price came down 10%. Fortunately, in my days as an option trader, I'm okay with the risks and handling the swings, but I have a feeling I mean, I've documented CFTC can ignore the evidence. And, but I mean, for people who feel betrayed, similar to the people who lost money to Bernie Madoff because they were betrayed by the SEC, that then has the audacity to charge Reggie Middleton. That's disgusting.
Yep.
And anyone who was a part of that, you should be damned ashamed of yourself. And that's another one on my list, to find out the people who put their name on that. Because I read the initial claim by the SEC, the response by Reggie's lawyer, and anyone who wants to put their name on that in public, good. You're invited on my show. Explain yourself. Yeah. CFTC, you're going to say you're opening an investigation. Why is Rostin Benham, the guy who says on February 1st, he's opening an investigation, still no comment, millions being stolen on a daily basis, but he's now doing climate change? What the fuck is the CFTC doing climate change for? They were fraudulent in 1980. They were fraudulent in 2011. They were fraudulent every day in between then and in between now. And so if anyone else would like to join us, we're going to have an epic after party as we spike the football in the CFTC's end zone. Because for anyone who's ever felt maybe a little afraid to do something alone or stand up against the paper tiger bully, well, I'll go first. Anybody else wants to come, we'll have information on that. Arcadia Economics and Jean-Claude, maybe we could do like a live feed. You can get like some coverage. We could report back to Montreal.
Sure.
In case you're still locked at home and can't go anywhere.
Speaking of Reggie, you did a good video also, interview with him after I did mine too. Guys, go check it out on Arcadia Economics on YouTube. Reggie was.
Oh, you mean the one where the guy who warned investors in advance that Bear Stearns was going to collapse, while Ben Bernanke and Goldman Sachs' Hank Paulson, who went into the Treasury, confirming that the banks in the Treasury are one. So the guy that actually warned investors in advance, while the government and regulators stole from the investors, he's saying that silver's manipulated too. Is that right?
Right. Oh, okay. Folks, if you want to get your hands on an amazing silver coin here for this show, let me bring it up. It is the Area 51 silver ounce.
Your flying saucer to Washington.
There you go.
Look at that. Look at those alien hunters. Ooh, and there's even like little rocks in the middle. You see that? Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's super cool.
I've been so blessed to get some of the coolest silver. Here's the Egyptian collection that arrived yesterday.
I love those. I have that one here as well. But hold on. Let's go back to your draw here. Let me bring the attention to the audience here to your silver giveaway URL. So, folks, if you want to put your name down for this draw, for this Area 51 silver coin, please do go fill out this application form here on arcadiaeconomics.com/silver-giveaway. The link is now in the live chat. And thank you so much, Chris, for doing this and giving silver every time you come on the show. I think it makes it fun. Somebody was saying earlier, hey, I love to watch these episodes. It's like going to class. So it's going to class, but hey, you also get silver as a reward. So it's like two birds with one stone. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate that. And show us that Egyptian coin again. And the one with the, like the mummified one. I want to see that one again.
I mean, some of these things.
That one.
Again, I'm not telling people putting a date, but just as I will say what I was doing in these past couple of months. So here's the Nikola Tesla ounce. Yeah,
that's
how
cool
is that? again, as I watch these things unfold, it just crossed in my mind. I'm like, whenever this happens, any like silver item I like, will I still be able to get it? I don't know. But in either case, I've been going onto the online stores and just buying anything that looks good. Jean-Claude, I will just use this as a hint.
That's a nice one. Bring it up. Let me bring
might
it up.
appear in epic form in someone's life later on. If you want to come roll silver dice. I mean, and again, if I could leave any message, for each person is going to be different. Some people do mining stock. Some people don't want silver, and that's fine too. But the people who like silver, I was always in the like, all right, I want to get as much silver per dollar. And I've never had more fun just the cool different silver items I've bought that I'm like looking around my desk, and it's like a beautiful museum. And I think that's part of the fun part. You can't get that with treasuries.
Right. Exactly. All right, let me bring that up one more time here for the audience. So folks, if you want to get in the draw here for this beautiful silver coin, please do so at arcadiaeconomics.com/silver-giveaway. So please go and follow our friend here at Arcadia Economics on YouTube and subscribe to his channel. He's got amazing work done already in the queue for you to watch hours and hours. And of course, there's more coming up each and every day. And finally, you can find his book on Amazon here. It is The Big Silver Short. And if you're new to this silver market rigor opportunity here, this is the book you want to read to understand what really truly is going on here in our markets. And last but not least, please remember to like, share, and subscribe here on our backup channel. We're at 29,300 strong. We're getting there. I'm going to crack that 30,000 very soon. And we've got more interviews coming up on silver. And I'm doing a subsequent interview here with John Adams. We're working on a different spin and an angle here to the controlled opposition in the silver market. So I'm not sure when we're going to post that yet, but please do subscribe to our channel here and you'll get the notification as soon as.
Are we going to get more Project Bluebeam coverage soon? I've always been a fan of that ever since I heard the deep state, according to Stuart Swerdlow, had amongst their plans are a staged second coming of Christ and a staged alien invasion. Which always makes me giggle because it's like CNN. They could just pull like some of the footage from Independence Day and it'd be like, wow, that alien looks like Will Smith. Oh my God.
Well, speaking of that, yes, I did. And there's more shows coming up on that topic. This particular one here was a tarot reading by Janine. And we got into that topic. And there's another series here as well where no woo has gone before. So if you guys are interested in the woo and some of this alien stuff, please do.
They can get Dick Hayes to play one of the aliens.
Okay. That's the face you make when you get the the thing.
That's why I've hit the I don't just subscribe to Beyond Mystic. I also have hit the notification bell.
Awesome.
Thanks.
All right, Chris.
Thing to do.
Yeah. What's that? You just broke up.
I said it's the silvery play.
Right. I always have to fun time when you're here with me, Chris. I wish we could do a little bit longer here today, but we'll recapture our essence here maybe in the next week or two as we see more unfold here in the silver crisis and default sweeping the planet right now. So, Chris, thank you so much, man, for being here. Have a great day, man. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here today on this live interactive show. I'm Jean-Claude of Beyond Mystic, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Au revoir.
So there is tonight's episode. Again, I thank you for being here. If you'd like to support what we're doing to round up this nonsense on the CFTC, well, the link for that is in the description field below, as well as the link of Jean-Claude's Beyond Mystic channel. And if you enjoy what he's doing there, completely free, just hit the subscribe button. Helps him grow what he's doing. So thank you, Jean-Claude, and thank you to everybody else. And to find out a little bit more about some of the things that are going to be happening with the CFTC this weekend, well, here, just click on that video that's coming your way now.